Well, welcome to the February 18th, 2026 Middlebury Park and Recreation Board meeting. Thank you for being here. We have a full group, and so we'll start right off. We need to do two things here at the beginning. One is we did not have a December meetings or the December minutes to approve and sign. So, again, I think everybody has probably a couple times looked at this. Do I have a motion that we accept the December 17th minutes as written?
I'll make a motion to
A second?
accept. Yep.
Second.
All in favor, say.
Aye.
Okay. The next one is the January 21st board meeting. Same situation. Have any discussion regarding the minutes?
I think we need to amend them to say that the December minutes were not approved.
Oh,
I say that the December minutes were what?
Were not approved, because on the January ones, it says we approved them, but we didn't.
Well, I'm saying today we approved those.
Right, but I'm amending the January ones
Oh,
to say
okay.
that they were not
I
approved.
see, okay. All right, all right. Is everybody happy with these minutes that we have in front of us? Motion to approve.
I'll move that we approve with the amendment that Elma
Yes.
suggested on the December minutes.
Do I have a second?
Yep, I'll second.
All in favor, say.
Aye.
Okay, would you make I'm going to sign this and you make the, I'll give them all to you.
Okay,
Give them to Shaylee.
okay.
That way I don't get lost. Okay, with that in mind, public comments. Alex, we'll wait for, get down here on the agenda for yours. And Mary, we're happy to have you. So we do not have a park commissioner to give a report.
I guess I have a question. Is there anything from the town that would be beneficial for us to know, Mary?
She did turn it on. So the only thing is, we were not able to award the trail resurfacing on Wayne Street because there was the low bidder for the community crossings, and then it was a different low bidder for the alternate. And the community crossings is timely, so I was planning on rebidding or getting quotes because it's less than 50,000 for the trail. So that will be ready for your next meeting. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mary. Let's go to the financials. Shaylee has sent us financials. Tom and I had a little meeting and kind of went through this to do some, maybe some, a little more explanation or less explanation and some, and Tom, do you want to say a few words on what we did here?
Yeah. So she uses Excel, and I just found out that she sends out an Excel sheet and then also a PDF sheet because some people can't open Excel on the computer. So if you have the ability to have the Excel sheet, it's really nice because it has the different pages on the bottom, tabs on the bottom, so you can go back to many months to see the financials, which will be great long-term for that. So one of the CD for the $50,000 kind of got moved up on accident to a different column, so we moved that back down to the correct column, and also took away the Kreider stock shares, which has been spent, which was still left on there. So clean that up at the top, and then with all the different appropriations and the non-reverting, we went ahead and took away the revenue section on the very top. It doesn't show it right now because this just happened this week. But going forward, it will just show the balances. And then, of course, all the detail for each appropriation is below that shows the incoming balance, the current revenues, current expenditures, and the current balance. So should be a little cleaner, a little easier. One less thing she has to try to add on there for that revenue part up on top. So should be better. But if you guys ever come across anything else that thinks still needs to be adjusted or helpful, just let us know.
Any questions on that? The big changes he talked about is that revenue line. You know, the way it looks, the revenue now, it looks like that we've got had in January on flour and fixtures. Looks like we had at $6,200. We didn't. So we need to either have a beginning balance, revenue, current balance, or do away with that revenue because, as Tom said, all the detail is back there. So. Comments, questions? The numbers didn't change. The numbers didn't change. Okay, Tom, we'll run over to your area.
Yeah, been doing a little bit of outdoor work with the nicer weather. Mike Miller from the tree board went out and did some trimming of the oak trees over the weekend. So we had some piles, picked up some of those piles on Monday, and a little bit of cleanup and Kreider, and of course you guys saw the report from the other kind of construction type projects we're doing. So right now Andrew's washing pots because we need to get the rest of the pots cleaned up. We had a community service worker last fall that did a majority of them, but we still need to get the rest of the pots washed and cleaned up and taken to Homeland Nursery here soon because they're going to start potting up the flower pots for the town light posts. So still looking for a truck. The truck that we liked the most that we test drove, that it had the 8-cylinder in it, that got sold. So
It was totaled.
oh, the one we had was totaled, yes, and we test drove one we liked down in Auburn, Indiana, and before we had a chance to pull the trigger on it, it got sold. But there's a couple more. I went to see another one up in Plainwell, and that was so we're still looking.
Got a scout looking for, or a couple of scouts.
Oh yeah, two Eagle Scouts. Kind of an interesting story with the Scouts is so there's only 3 left in the current, they call it 007 group, and then they have a big gap because of COVID. They didn't have any new Scouts coming in for 2-3 years, and so once those 3 get their Eagle Scouts projects, which 2 of them are planning to do it this year. One's going to be at the Camp Kaywood, helping to fix the current lean-to, add a folding table to the lean-to that they can fold down and rise back up, I assume. And then also a sign out front closer to the cul-de-sac at Spring Street, which will have a little drop-down thing that'll say, you know, in use, like we had planned for a while ago. So that'll be good. And the other one is not determined yet. He doesn't turn 18 until like 2028, January 2028, so he has plenty of time, but he's already gotten hold of me and wants to at least get the ball rolling about some ideas. So.
What about using an Eagle Scout to fix up some of the boxes on the trail tails? Because those little strips of wood that are on the inside, a lot of them have pulled loose, and when you try and close the box, they stick, and you need to hammer them back in. And maybe if we had a real ambitious guy, he could even move some of the boxes so that none of them face south because that just deteriorates the plexiglass. If they face north, they don't get that direct sun.
So you're talking about the ones out in the open?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ones out in the open. The ones in the trees doesn't matter so much.
So that's basically putting them on the other side of the trail then.
Yeah. It's just a thought.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not an appropriate project, but it's just something I thought of.
Okay. Yeah, I'll think about that some. We do have a, which I haven't, especially for some of you new board members, I'll send it out, but we have a approved scout list of projects. So when someone asks me, a new scout kind of asks me if it's already something that's already on the project, or just, hey, is there something that you would recommend? These are some projects that we've already pre-approved in earlier dates, so I'll send that back out, and so you guys can look at it and know about it, and then if there's any other ideas like that, we could possibly add that to it, so.
Great. I guess, Tom, will continue into the Parks Projects Riverfest.
We have a meeting for March 9th. 4:30 PM.
Okay. Anything else? Landscape Committee, we had a discussion, or a short discussion last time of what landscape meeting last one was, and I think everybody got a copy of the things that were achieved last year, so. And with nothing else other than that, trails, Barbara?
The next Trails meeting is March 17th. Every other month at this point. The only other thing I would say is that the walk in River Bend, the winter walk, which was along the trails, was really well done. It was low attendance, but it was really well done by Elkhart Parks. So it's good that Trails is now starting to partner with other groups, that we can just expand what we offer our community, so.
Great. Yeah, I was not able to come, but it's a great topic.
Yeah.
Great partnership, yeah.
Kind of with trails, we don't know exactly what this is going to be yet, but Brittany sent us, Mary and I, a note to meet up and discuss some things from the Trails Coalition involving funding for maintenance. And it sounded pretty optimistic.
That
So,
would be amazing.
Yeah. And we set a date for, like, it's March 6th. It's a Friday, you know that. Okay. So hopefully, in March, board meeting, both board meeting and the Trails Committee might have some good news.
That's wonderful. It's been a thought process for years.
Yeah.
Okay, Pumpkin Vine, or excuse me, Barbara, are you finished?
I'm done, yeah.
Okay. Pumpkin Vine Advisory, Tom again?
Nothing this month. So really nothing to report on at this point. So.
Likewise, Friends of the Parks nothing's happened since last month, because they will meet again in March. Communications, Elma.
Turned stuff in for a march in Middlebury. We're hoping that there will be one. And if there's one in April, we can put in the upcoming events, the
Program list?
Yeah, the program list. And this afternoon, I'm meeting with a couple, the children's librarian from the library, and we're going to change the sign for some of their programming. I told them they could use the sign through March, and then in April, we needed it back for our programming,
For which one?
the one in Memorial Park.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I also had a meeting with Lauren, the new, and Sarah, just yesterday, about just programs in general, but also the music in the parks. And they want to do a concert this year, and so we're probably gonna team up with them at least for, promotion wise, have a series. We're hoping to do 3 or 4 this year, including theirs, so. And Lauren is gonna contact Heather for summer fun. They had the ZooDU, Potawatomi ZooDU program planned for the week before summer fun starts, but she's going to see if they can alter that to have it during summer fun, so summer fun can join, would be nice. And just some other potential programs. She seems to have a lot of energy and ideas, so that new youth librarian, so.
Okay, great. Anything else? Okay. I guess the only other thing to maybe make mention of in regard to communications is that in Middlebury is kind of on a lifeline right at the moment, and we don't know what's going to happen. The financials don't look good. So anyhow, I guess the only continue our thought process is that probably in the next weeks, we need to put pencil to paper and say, here's some ideas about communications replacing in Middlebury, should it happen, so that we have at least a bit of a plan to go forward without them. So we don't need to have any more conversation on that here, but between now and the next meeting, we probably need to have at least email or discussions about in Middlebury. Sadly. So that kind of wraps up the park projects, old business. Alex, Crystal Valley Community Church request.
Can I approach?
Oh, please, right up there, whatever you're comfortable with.
Good morning. It's great to see you all. It's great to be here. It's my birthday.
Oh,
Today's my
that's right.
birthday.
You said that, yeah. Happy birthday.
So I'm excited. I think the last we spoke, it was tabled until a later date. I had received some updates, and today's the final call, whether or not the 24-hour New Testament reading of the Bible is a yay or a nay. Either way, God is good, and we can move forward. But I'm ready and full of anticipation to hear what you have decided.
Well, Alex, this has been an interesting journey.
Oh, great. I love those. I love interesting journeys.
There has been some individual thoughts and emails, and so this is not taken lightly, is my
Wow,
point.
thank you.
Yeah, and we appreciate the spirit of the request, okay? And also we appreciate your kind of openness as we move
Yeah.
forward. So, like I said, this is not taken lightly. Tom, you had a couple thoughts here that you wanted to share.
Yeah, so I met with some of the members kind of separately and got some ideas and thought processes, had some emails, like John said, and we'll make our final decision here. But I think Elma had a really good recommendation, and why don't you go ahead and say what you said.
Thanks, Elma.
Well, I move that we allow the New Testament reading from dawn till dusk, but that at dusk it moved to your church, because we just don't think overnight is a good idea for our parks. And you wanted to get exposure, and you're not going to get much exposure at night anyhow. So,
Yes.
I mean, we approve it with the dawn to dusk stipulation is my motion.
Okay, just a little bit of discussion here. One of the considerations is if we make an exception for.
Yes. Yes. I was also doing
where I'm going
the
here
reasoning
is
out
that
in my
if we
mind.
make an
yes,
exception to be outside of the ordinance, then we have a precedent that we have to live up with.
For anybody.
The two.
Yes.
And we probably will find that difficult, so.
Yeah.
And that time of year, dusk is going to be about 9:30 or so. So, I mean, you would have the whole day.
That's true, yes. So, for clarity's sake, the original request is denied, but a side request or a motion has been made for dawn to dusk, and then move to the church.
There you go.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Which we still need to officially vote on that,
Right, we
but,
need-
yeah.
So really, Elma,
We had a motion, so we need to have a second.
Elma made a motion. Do I hear a second to that?
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion from anybody?
I guess I have a question. Do you know how many people you're thinking?
My hope would be 24.
Okay.
20 students, 4 adults. Likelihood of that, I've got 14 solid right now. I would like to get it more, but again, I didn't want to push too hard until I had a concrete plan to move forward to, because now I can have letters and permission slips to parents. Just that way I know what I'm doing before I tell them what I would like to do. And
Sure, yeah.
One other question is, did you plan any amplification speakers or anything like that, or be just an individual?
How I see this playing out would be about 20 minutes per student and adult that is to come, and it's required that they are there the entire time. So chairs set up. We have some support from the church to bring like coffee or snacks, water, and just to sit and listen, I think would be a big encouragement for the students. But yeah, that's how I see it playing out. I'll assign about 20-minute segments per student to read and then progress through all of the New Testament that way.
But no loudspeakers.
Oh, I thought you meant like entertaining speakers, like a gifted orator or something. Well, yeah, maybe. If it's a daylight time, we would probably move to some sort of speaker system just so that, I mean, if you ever hear a youth student speak, they do not project. But even though like projecting for 20 minutes is quite taxing, so just something to elevate to about my level, I would have, and maybe, yeah, something like that.
Okay, we've had a motion, we've had a second, we've had some discussion. All in favor of Elma's motion? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
All right. Aye. So for clarity, 9:30 close, and then open
7 a.m. is our
7 a.m.
kind of ordinance for like what we have for loud noises, construction
Okay.
to begin,
Okay.
that type of thing. So yeah, 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m.
Okay. Well, wonderful. All right. Thanks so much,
Well,
everyone.
we appreciate you, Alex. We encourage you to come back to a board meeting when we don't have something else like this.
Yeah.
And we would appreciate your participation.
Hey, it's
Oh,
good to be here.
Did you get my message? I left you a message about, as far as payment?
Yeah,
There's-
$50, or the students can.
Yeah.
We'll probably do the $50.
Okay. All right.
Although, yeah, maybe just out of goodwill, they could pull some weeds or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that could, take in place of the payment. So
Yeah.
that's totally fine. We can work on something that would be,
Okay.
you know,
So
helpful,
then, moving forward, I just need to fill out a form with a payment for, I was thinking East Park, but maybe Memorial Park, one of those two parks. And then we're all set?
the forms can be picked up here. You can actually pick one up before you leave,
Okay.
and you can bring it back then whenever you're ready.
All right.
Another thought for the not overnight is you wouldn't have access to restrooms. At your church, you would have restrooms.
I was maybe considering the gas station, but do they close? They probably
I don't
close.
think they're 24/7.
Because that would, yeah. Oh, man. Okay. I'll say that was my idea then. That's good. All right. Thanks so much,
Hey,
guys.
thank you.
Thanks,
Again,
guys.
definitely appreciate the spirit.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, we'll move ahead to Bontrager Fields and the soccer club meeting. Tom?
I made a quick little map. There. So we did have a meeting with the director of the soccer group out there, Vincent Balashar or something like that. But so they are. So when you look at this, you want to kind of face it this way, where the road is on the bottom, and so on the right-hand side, is that way yours is facing? Okay, no, I'm sorry, yours is a little different than mine. So face it like this. So the road is on the bottom. That's right, I copied it, so we could make it a little larger. And so the far right-hand side then is their boundary line, and then that kind of rectangle would be the area of the building. And then the shaded area there next to it would be a improved parking lot. So very, very beginning talks about this. They want to build a building with one soccer field in it and maybe an office. They're not quite even sure if they're going to have restrooms yet. Maybe restrooms, I think. They're wanting to try to get in before November, but after this meeting, he realized, oh my gosh, there's so many steps and things to go through. And so right now, at this point for us, it's just FYI. The biggest thing, the main thing that the park board will be involved in is approving some sort of contract with them when that comes to the point. The lawyer will draw up something. The land will have to either be given to or bought from the town, so they can legally build on it. So that'll be part of the contract. And then most of the other stuff is going to deal with, creating a new parcel, getting the water and sewer hooked up, and working with the county on the various permits, and so that's pretty much all we know at this point in time. Like I said, they do want to open November, but it's most likely going to be next year probably, by the time they have to go through all the steps they have to go through. So they are kind of keeping it open for one side of the building to be kind of knocked out to eventually potentially expand to add a second or third court. So that was one of the questions is you might want to go ahead and try to get all the land you want for, 10 years from now instead of coming back to, asking for more land later and going through all those steps again. So that's one thing they have to kind of figure out what they want to do with that.
How could they do no bathrooms in that,
Yeah,
in a winter facility?
yeah, I'm pretty sure there'll be bathrooms.
Yeah.
Which wall were they going to knock out? Because they're either going to run into their little circle drive here, or they're going to go over the property line,
Yeah,
or they're take out their parking lot that they just put in.
right. That's a good question. I'll be honest with you, the whole time during the meeting, I was looking at the map a little wrong. But, I would assume. Yeah, that's a good question.
West wall and just kind of expand it.
So, yeah.
Well, I think maybe to summarize, this is a project in process.
Yeah. Just FYI stuff at this point.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. But there's a lot of moving parts to this, most of which we won't have anything to do, but we need to know about and maybe give direction to. The only thing I'd make at this point in time, at some point in time, we need to, or somebody needs to go to the Bontrager family and walk through this. This started years ago when Wilbur Bontrager called me and says, "Hey, but here's the property we would like to have this in the future area, Middlebury Park." So that was the original intent, and we want to make certain that if any deviation to that has got their knowledge and verification.
And that was clearly stated during the meeting as well. Vincent was like, well, we know him real well, we can just talk to him, and both Mary and I were like, yeah, it should really come from the town as well.
Exactly,
so.
exactly. So that's my only caveat. Any other discussion? Well, Tom, you got, with this, the old business, you got potential projects. We like potential projects.
I didn't want to print a new thing because what I handed out last week with some of the capital improvement projects, the only thing I had, to modify on that was, I'm not sure if you have this form with you or not, but I got a hard quote for that concrete path leading from the lower brick pathway up to the upper pathway, brick pathway near the pond at Kreider Garden. And it was actually really close to the estimate that I just dropped in there, but it's like $6,995, so I just put $7,000 in there. I think I had $8,000 in there as a holding spot, but
That's the line says Upper Brick Path Crater.
it would be the third from the bottom, concrete path from,
Okay.
yep,
And that number again was?
7,000. It was like 6,995 or something like that, but.
I actually thought that was going to be more than 7,000.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by that. So just as again, we're kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern. We like to typically kind of wait for projects in the beginning of the year because you just don't know what's going to happen. We want to spend a lot of our improvement line in the first quarter of the year. So especially with the Wayne Street Trail project, where hopefully next month we'll have some solid bids or I guess quotes to be able to know what that's going to cost. I'm imagining, we didn't really elaborate when Mary was talking about it, but she's going to ask for all 3 or 4 of the people who bid on that for the entire project to quote just the Wayne Street project. Now, I imagine all the other ones, so Milestone is the one that got awarded the whole contract. So they're going to do all the roads up there. I imagine their quote is going to come back the same because they're going to be there. It's the same pricing as they put in the main bid. The other contractors are probably going to go higher because now it's just the trail project and they're not going to be doing all the other things. So I imagine Milestone is going to get the contract, which is around $36,000. So, and just the thought process here is, 10 can come from our improvement line. We're going to ask FOMP for 5, 10 from the community foundation, and maybe 5 from C-Edit, which is an extra fund from the town. So I guess it'd be 6.
Would
if
this
it's
be
the reason.
affected at all by the meeting that you and Mary are having with Brittany for fund maintenance?
Potentially, yeah. Yeah. Could be. So,
Now, this whole funding maintenance of the pumpkin vine was begun when they saw that they were getting to the end of construction, and say, oh, what's our life like after we get through raising money for construction? And so this has been carefully thought through. So it's thrilled to have it coming forward.
yeah.
Because it could make a big difference as we move forward. Hey, the project list is great, and I encourage everybody to keep up to date on it, number 1. Number 2, is there anything else that needs to be added to it? So, open book.
I think it was in the projects, maybe it was in your January, February report, but somewhere you said you were looking for new board members. That would be tree board and font board?
Yeah, not necessarily, yeah.
I mean,
park board.
we're kind
Yeah.
of locked in for
Yeah.
at least a year. I just thought maybe that could be clarified.
Okay.
The 2 individuals to my right.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah, no, we won't keep you guys. Yeah, no, FOMP, tree board, all of our committees, yeah.
Yeah, we have got a couple prospects for the font board, which will be next month. We hope to move ahead on a couple, and But yes, we want to just make sure there's, as we have contacts with individuals in the community, that and when it comes to the committees, it doesn't have to be a town resident.
Correct.
Our group has to be a town resident on that. Did you have any, you asked about font projects. We had kind of a beginning list on that. Is there anything else you want to put on that?
Did everybody want to get a copy of this? I didn't make any copies. I can make some more, but the only thing I think we added was replacing those benches in Riverbend Park. The wooden bench, and that, in fact, that's one of the scout projects that one scout might do. Is I asked him if he'd be willing to either buy or make one out of poly lumber instead of normal lumber, and he thought that that would be fine. He said they would probably build it. So,
I have a random question. Has that pond at Riverbend ever been used to skate on or like a winter?
not that I'm aware of. And now we have the bubblers in there, so that would
You're
obviously.
going all year long, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not the first time it's ever been thought about,
Yeah.
having a skating area. But as far as historically, I do not know.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of work that is to do.
Well, that's an interesting question because that pond is quite deep.
About 15 feet in the middle.
Yeah. And there's bubblers in there, so
Which there are fish.
coverage could be really,
Perfect,
really dicey.
Yeah.
So there are fish to help, so the bubblers help them so they don't, there's not a fish kill type of a thing. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe like Dan Frederick or Christy Edlund might know some of those historical thoughts, if it's ever been used like that. Because I know before bubblers was a fountain, and I'm pretty confident that fountain wasn't used all, in the winter.
No, it wasn't. No.
But when I first came on, that fountain was, it was acting up, and that's why we switched to bubblers,
Yeah,
basically.
it had its life.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that maybe raises a further question is, do we want people skating on Riverbend Park?
Yeah, no, I just thought about
Yeah.
it the other day when we were walking over there, and
Well, let's don't try to solve that today, but.
not today
We
especially.
probably just need to have some thought process on that. March IDIB meeting, that date is set too.
Yes, and I want to make sure I get the right date here.
Are you going to be?
I should be there too, yep.
Please.
Yep.
Well, Okay.
But now, I may not have the most recent information, Tom.
I have it,
just
I have it
looking-
at 9, but do you? No, the same day, but
I would believe Tim.
I don't know.
I wouldn't believe me.
For some reason, it's not in my phone yet, so let me look back.
but
at my,
maybe that's a placeholder. that I
Yeah,
put in
March
there.
12th. I think it's 11.
Okay.
Okay.
11:30, because I know they can't get here till, by the time they leave Indianapolis in the morning and get up here at, so I'm pretty sure it's 11. I will double check on that and send out an email.
There you go, yeah.
And I'll also just make sure that they're still good for that date.
Are we walking through?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a 12:45 meeting I have to be at, but in Goshen, but I'll be there for as much as I can.
Okay.
11 would be better.
Wonderful. Okay, anything else on that? Just a couple of pieces of old business. One is, Tom sent us the master plan, action plans by park, and asked for input on that. I've got it on my list to do, but just a reminder, go through that, feedback's appreciated.
Tom, I need a date when you need it by.
Yes, a good
Otherwise,
idea,
it's gonna
yeah.
just sit there.
Yeah.
So do you
Yeah.
need it by,
So it's more it's more not the action plan, but the actual written plan.
okay,
And I have everything highlighted in red that I changed.
okay.
So maybe that'll be a little simpler just to read over the new changes. And maybe just before that and just after it, make sure it flows. And then really, I mean, so the big thing about that plan, it needs to be approved before we ask for funding. So there's not a really hard deadline necessarily for us, but, you know, the sooner the better. We're not planning to have a request this year, but we definitely want to get it done sometime this year, so,
So if we said March 15th, that's reasonable.
oh,
That
yeah.
gives us a month.
Yeah, that would be,
Anything past that.
yeah, because then we're getting into spring and we're getting busy, and so why don't we try that, March 15th?
Okay.
Well, the written plan and the action plan. March
And it-
15th.
yeah, written plan,
Yeah,
yeah,
written plan's gonna,
yeah, because then I can send that off to him again.
yeah, you can,
Which, it's just a little conversation here, so some of his comments, you know, it's been a while, the initial comments he sent back last March were, and I reread them all over again, you know, before I started updating it, and some of his last comments were about the action plan of being just, he kind of, we put most of our bulk in the action plan, because it's something you can look at, it's easy to implement, discuss, it's easy to adapt, a living document type thing, whereas the written plan, it takes a while to read through it and go through it, but he was just the opposite. He was saying the written plan should be more important, and not that we have to comply to this, but the action plan is more of just a to-do list. I was like, well, I mean, it is a to-do list, but a really nice, good, you know, concise and easy to look at, and, you know, and update. So I don't know. I got a nice little paragraph I'm planning to send him back when I send this to kind of contradict his thoughts, but and why it works for us.
well, Tom, is it fair to say the written portion is pretty well done, and with some changes that you'll make?
I think so.
And let Tom kind of drive the written piece of it, and for us to concentrate on the action plan. Is that fair? Okay. March 15th.
Just one of the other things about that, about the action plan is, which it's actually in the written plan, for us to try to go through that, you know, at least once a year, maybe even twice a year, and try to get that on a schedule to where, okay, even if it has to be a special meeting, we just need to try to do that more often. I usually go through and I'll go ahead and like kind of change, if we got some of those projects done, I'll like highlight them a different color, or try to put some priority, you know, aspects in
Well, the
there.
action plans are driving your project plans.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
what's going to happen, so that's why
Yeah.
it needs attention. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, is we come back at some interval, quarterly, semi-annually, and review these action plans, so.
What do you think about every June and every December or something like that, or
June,
July
December.
and January or something? Maybe July, January.
July's easier for you
Yeah.
than June,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. And December's busy with all the holidays.
Okay, July and January.
2 J's.
Good deal, Tom, thank you. Tom also sent out the reservation policy and the campground policy. Has anybody had any thoughts on that?
I think one of the main reasons was to see if we can adopt that or adapt that for, you know, this whole reservation thing for Alex, but for one, that we don't really need to now that we made this decision. But it is, I guess it was good for y'all to see that again,
Yes.
and or especially for you two, that you haven't even seen it before, so.
File it someplace in the computer and be able to,
And with,
Pull it
Tim,
up.
with you living right there,
Yeah.
you're like, if something, especially with this new sign coming on board, where they're gonna have a sign and it's in use, and if you see anything or hear from your neighbors about anything about, hey, it would be really helpful if we can do X, Y, Z. That would be, I think you're right there, so
Yeah.
that would be
We
helpful.
notice when it happens, but they're always, real good, so.
Yeah.
Tom,
You go to bed and sleep through the night, so.
on the park preservation one, you mentioned adding, and I know you just sent what you had, but you mentioned adding, was it plastic graffiti?
Yes.
Graffiti, or,
Yes. And that hasn't been switched yet.
yay, we're married, and it's like bad stuff that
Right,
we're throwing around,
2000,
yeah.
Yeah.
26,
So
yeah.
that was the one thing that I noticed on there, but I know why it wasn't there, because it was the old
Yeah.
version, but, yeah.
And I don't know if this is a similar take, but we should also, obviously, we have some conversations going on about for-profit programs or things like that, that if they're gonna rent that space to do anything, policies around that. We're gonna have further discussion about that.
it needs an approval.
Right.
Oh, if they're,
If they're gonna run like a class or an exercise class.
Oh, yes,
or,
yes,
you know,
yes,
something
yes.
like
Yeah,
that.
I think you have some information on that.
yeah, we haven't, I sent it to Mary and to Shaylee to kind of see, so Goshen, did I send that out to everybody or just you and I? Okay, yeah. So, email Goshen and Kimberly there sent their, they basically treat it as a, what's the language, independent contractor, I think. And so the office takes care of all the registrations and paperwork, taking the funding, but then they pay them separately. And legally, that works out to get, because they basically have to follow the same ordinance that we do, any park in Indiana does, so. So that works out for them, that's the way they do it. Whether or not, Shaylee, the clerk, is probably gonna be mainly her call, and the office ladies, if they feel that's gonna be something that we can do here. So I guess more discussion to come, but,
I was just thinking too, depending on how many people end up wanting to do this sort of thing, it could be an additional revenue source for the park, because in Goshen, she says the instructor gets 65% of the
Oh, true.
fees, and then the park gets 45% of the fees, which might just be another good income source. But I think it would be imperative to make sure that then that money stays for park stuff only versus it being in the open pot.
I can see how that, their last comment, because a lot of the work is actually getting done here.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they would want to try to keep that in the general fund or maybe split that half and half with parks in general. I don't know, since it is taking up some of their work time. So it's something we can discuss.
Right. And you guys know more about this than I do, because I'm just starting.
Yeah, no, but I'm glad you reminded me of that, because that is a definite interesting aspect of that,
Yeah.
of the sharing of the revenue.
This is just a comment, I don't know if it's a good one, but on the campground policy, should we have like we have on the reservation policy, a signature line that somebody signs off on and agrees to, and then comes to you?
Oh, for the campground? Yes. Is that not on the form I sent? Okay.
So that's my only comment.
One thing I have to, every once in a while, I'll get a scout leader. It's like, hey, can we just, reserve it for the whole summer? It's like, because we plan it here and it rains and I get that, but it's like, no. I mean, we need to kind of. So I don't know if there's a middle ground that we can kind of work with them to make it a little easier for them, but then we also just need to know, not last minute type stuff, and so.
apply for a rain date when they're sending out, when they do the original one? Just have a little line that says rain date would be?
Yeah, we can, that's a good idea. Okay.
The only other item I had was the, we haven't talked about this in some time, but the giving tree in the foyer here of Town Hall. What we have done there is we have a tool that we acknowledge significant gifts and so forth. Like the first one I see on the list here is River Bend Land, Kenton K. Marion Miller. But that's my point. And then a leaf gets on there with their name and so forth. Have we kind of updated this at any point in time? And then-
Yeah.
That's-
I can
that's
send out-
great, 'cause
Yeah. I can send out the newer, that list, document or spreadsheet, I guess that's called. But yeah, we just put one up, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago from,
that's okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, I just wanted, I had not thought about that in a while, and just tripped my trigger, I guess. Okay. New business. Elma has done a great job with the upcoming events and the poster.
No, I have not. Corey has.
Well,
Yes.
you fit it to Cory. So.
Very nice.
So you can see the next thing is coming up in April. Wildflower Hike, April 25th, 1 to 2, and Celebrate Trails Days, Saturday, April 25.
And she has a flyer for each one of those events too, which is just, I don't know, end of last week, she sent a zip file with all of them. It's like 32 megabytes. It's huge. But, so when those start coming up, we'll start putting those out in the kiosks and put them on Facebook, and
Good job, Tom and Elma.
we'll try to do some more sharing of stuff with the library and, hopefully, just cross-promoting and stuff like that.
Do we know when Arbor Day is yet?
Yeah,
We had that? Or
yeah.
would that complicate things if everything's on the 25th? I don't know when it is, but
It's not on the 25th.
as long as that doesn't goof Corey up, Elma.
I mean, at this point, she might be able to adjust it and remove the ones in January where they're already done.
Yeah.
And then
Sure.
just add in,
Yeah.
but, it is the 18th.
Elma, do you have a copy of this one here, or
I do.
can I put one up at the bank and?
Yeah.
That's a good
Maybe
idea.
Green Crop too, but.
Yeah, good idea.
All over town.
Yeah, I almost did some of that
Still
yesterday.
can.
Yeah.
But why don't, if we can get Arbor Day added on there, and Tom, maybe you could give some verbiage for that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know they're always looking for volunteers. I don't know how many trees they've got this year, but
Don't know that yet.
I don't. I would not normally know that.
I was at the last meeting, and we'll probably try to get closer. I was gonna recommend how many at Riverbend, at this next meeting. And, well, this is more of probably a landscaping question, but, at East Park, where we have that little rock wall and the sidewalk where the newer hostas go down that aisle kind of lane. Those have kind of been burning up a little bit because they get so much more sun than they used to get. So I was thinking about trying to plant a few trees in between your building over there and the sidewalk. Some, like tulip poplar or something that'll grow pretty quickly, and then get some shade over there. And because there was a couple that we removed in that area that
Because of roots, though?
No, it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
mainly just getting old and
Okay.
didn't want it to fall on the building. So,
Appreciative of that.
Yes.
yeah, which it did make it a nicer area for that grass in that area to grow well. That grass is growing great now, but, we used to be all that kind of that gravelly, whatever stuff over there, but yeah, so we might end up having 2 trees kind of in that section, as well as some new ones in Riverbend.
I'll divest to you and Allison. Yeah, and the hospice side is, we'll, can take that to the landscape committee.
Yeah.
Okay, the only other item I had here was just an update on the 250th anniversary. There was kind of an ad hoc meeting that got together a group basically from the library last week, talking about the 250th and the library and Mary. And at this point in time, the library's kind of
Library of the museum.
museum, excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. The museum is kind of leading the charge on that and looking at an event on, and this is not chipped in stone yet, but July the 3rd, that would be kind of a come and go, refreshments, music, food trucks, that type of thing. The only thing I added in regard to parks is that Kreider, our plantings this year are mostly very patriotic. So we got the windmill garden, the quilt garden, the garden with a cause, the welcome garden, all planted in either red, white, and blue or actual patterns. And so I said, you know, it'd be easy for us to do a kind of a patriotic Kreider walk. And he thought that's fine, and that's something that's pretty simple, and take 1 or 2 people. And that's kind of where it is, so more news to come on that.
Was there any discussion about doing walks from park to park
No,
around town?
no, that's good. Help me, I'll bring it forward if you'd like.
Yeah, no, I emailed Shar, I think, and she said that they were possibly going to do a bike ride to the different parks, but that's something she thought of, but maybe it just didn't come up in that meeting. Okay,
No, or any meeting,
yeah, okay, that's fine.
which is fine. Okay, more news to come. Is there any other topics from, or comments from anybody? If not, the February 18th Park and Recreation Board meeting is closed. Not until we get it turned off.
That's right.